now with Linda Scott from the Education Development Center. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Gordon.
How you doing?
Fine. I'm pleased to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. Could you tell us a little bit about EDC and the work you're doing?
Yes, EDC is a large nonprofit in Newton, Massachusetts, and we are largely funded by government projects. I currently work on an NSF ATE project called IT Across Careers, which is how I've gotten to know Gordon and a lot of the folks here at this conference.
Could you tell us a little bit about that project, the work you're doing?
Yes, we saw a need for developing some skill standards and rubrics for those skill standards for basic IT applications because there was nothing out there except vendor certifications, which didn't hit all the areas of the proficiency level of skill that students need to have as they enter the workforce.
Now, as an example, what would be a typical student or a typical course that could use this content, this material you're producing?
Well, they can be used in a lot of ways, and that's only one of the items we developed. In order to be able to encourage faculty to be able to develop these skills for their students in their non-information technology courses, we developed a curricular framework that seamlessly weaves the content of the course with the students using an IT application. And our platform for doing that is using problem-based scenarios. We had help from faculty at technical and community colleges, as well as people from industry to help us identify what some of those problem sets would be for the workforce. Plus, they would also be the types of subjects that would be taught by students in their, they would be learning in their courses at their colleges and their different programs. So the scenarios are examples. They can be used as is, or they can be adapted by faculty, or they could serve as a model for new ones that faculty might want to create themselves.
Could you give us an example of one of the problem-based scenarios?
Yes. If for in a technical field, like an architectural technician, we had one faculty who came up with an idea that of having her students research the different types of building materials that would be needed for a client who wanted to go green with the particular remodeling project. So there was a budget that they had to work around, and the client also in the scenario stipulated the types of green products that would be interested in for that project. So that would require researching on the internet, and also you could take it further for another project would be presenting that in like a PowerPoint presentation to the client. So it gives a lot of opportunities to develop that idea and still have the students have to think and use critical thinking skills and develop that idea further.
So an architectural firm would be an example of maybe a type of business or an occupation that is enabled by the technology. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you have other scenarios like that too.
Yes, we do. We have them. We're trying to develop enough representative examples across all the career areas following the occupational organization set by the Department of Ed with the 16 career clusters.
That's great. It's great to see that. That approach. I think that's an excellent approach, and it's certainly needed. And I like the problem-based approach too. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, the problems are we want the problems to be problems that a worker would actually encounter in the workplace. And the way those problems would come up is just like what we get in our everyday work. It's part of what we do in our everyday work. It's something that our boss asks us to do, or it's something we volunteer to do, or it's something that someone volunteers us to do. And we find that although it might not work to use for an entire course, but it certainly can be used like for capstone projects, which is what some of our faculty are finding it useful for. And students are usually excited to use some of the applications. Some of them they groan about it first, but it's part of trying to make sure that they have those 21st century work skills that they need when they enter the workforce. It's also good for students who come into our community colleges from a career transition, that they might be going through retraining or a different kind of training from what they did in their previous work, and maybe they didn't have to use basic IT applications in their work or not in very discrete ways. And so this is an opportunity, in addition to any externships or internships, to be able to develop those skills. The other good thing is that the students can also use the language from our rubrics to articulate what skills that they've developed. And we've had some successes with that actually leading to jobs for some students when they graduated from their programs, where they wouldn't have had those skills to articulate those particular skills that they developed.
Oh, that's great. Now, let's say I'm a faculty person and I want to find out more information. How would I go about getting access to this information?
Okay, this is available on our project website at http://itech.edc.org, and the materials are there on our website, and also information on how to reach us if you have questions or you have other ideas. We're also interested in your ideas because it's without the partnership of our faculty and the technical and community colleges, we couldn't bring this to everyone, and we couldn't also have it grow and get more meaningful examples. And we've had several faculty approach us in that way, and that's how we've been able to get additional examples, because we can't represent them all.
Great. Now, if somebody wanted to contact you directly, how would they contact you?
Okay, they would contact me at lscott@edc.org or at 617-618-2170.
Great. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Gordon.